Fundamentals of supply chain. Fundamentals of supply chain focus on and emphasize on a seamless system in supply chain management to keep all components running smoothly and efficiently. At no stage of operation must any link be affected adversely and halt or delay operations. Therefore, all effort is made to keep the supply chain resilient, competitive, and adaptable. This is ABHA, and you're listening to the lesson on fundamentals of supply chain. Fundamentals of supply chain. Fundamentals of supply chain cover 10 main concepts that focus on the essential principles and concepts of supply chain management while looking at the entire structure in a broader perspective. Planning. Planning covers scheduling and resource allocation along with forecasting of consumer demand, determining supply, and creating strategies to balance supply and demand. Procurement. Procurement involves selecting and sourcing suppliers for materials or services, negotiating contracts, developing a working relationship with supplier, and ensuring quality standards. Manufacturing. Manufacturing transforms raw materials into finished goods, ensuring quality control, sufficient inventory, and timely delivery. Inventory. Inventory management involves keeping track of raw materials and finished goods and avoiding excess inventory levels. Logistics. Logistics covers efficient distribution of goods, warehousing, packaging, and managing the huge transportation network. Customer relations. Customer relations are vital for the running of the supply chain, and understanding and meeting customer needs is an important aspect of satisfying customer demand. Technology. Use of high-tech software is essential in supply chain management, SCM, with constant effort to upgrade related technology to enhance efficiency in operations. Risk management. It is of utmost importance to constantly monitor global supply chain trends and risks and identify potential disruptions and create contingency plans. Sustainability. In the current global environment, there is emphasis on adopting eco-friendly practices and reducing environmental impact and use of renewable resources and promoting corporate social responsibility. Performance data. Continuous improvement monitoring on performance data is a way to measure success through metrics like delivery time, cost efficiency, and customer satisfaction. Linear and complex supply chains. The nature of a supply chain can be either linear or complex, depending on the industry, on the structure, and dependencies within it. The more complex the supply chain is, the more it will rely on technology and collaboration for optimal performance. Both supply chains come with their own advantages and challenges. Linear chains provide simplicity and clarity, while complex chains offer flexibility and larger scalability. Linear supply chains. A linear supply chain follows an uncomplicated and straightforward path where each stage of the process flows in a clear line or chain from raw materials to the final product. The basic characteristics of a linear supply chain allows each participant to focus solely on their own limitations, such as the supplier picks up goods from manufacturer, who hands goods to a distributor, who gives them to a retailer, who sells to a customer. A linear supply chain is easier to manage and predict due to its simplicity. Example. An example of a linear supply chain would be a small-scale business like a local bakery. The supply chain in this case would involve the local farmer who grows wheat, which is milled into flour. Then the flour is sold to the bakery, where the bakery makes it into bread, and then the bread is sold directly to its customers. While simple and efficient for small businesses, linear supply chains can struggle to handle sudden changes and disruptions in the market and often lack the flexibility to adapt when complex issues arise. The recent COVID-19 situation illustrates this point very well, when hundreds and thousands of small businesses had to shut down and have since been unable to reopen again. Complex supply chains. A complex supply chain, on the other hand, is a web with multiple interconnected components that are dynamically overlapping across several stages and processes. The basic characteristics of a complex supply chain include several suppliers, distributors, customers, collaborating and sharing forecasts, demand data, new ideas, and hence have greater flexibility, although with more complicated intricacies. An example of a complex supply chain would be a global electronics manufacturer. Its supply chain would involve multiple suppliers providing raw materials such as semiconductors, with many components being produced in different countries. Assembly of the product could be at various manufacturing hubs worldwide, and the finished products could be distributed to multiple regions with adjustments for local markets or demand shifts. This complex supply chain, although vital for industries like automotive, pharmaceuticals, and consumer electronics, requires cost-effective planning, robust technology, and collaboration with the right partners in order to stay efficient in a fluctuating global market.